beautiful friends, welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Anna and today I'm bringing you another Cuban classic. We're making carne con papa. It's pretty much just like a meat stew made with potatoes, onions, garlic, peppers. It has sazon. It's full of beautiful flavors and it's very easy to make. So let me show you what you're gonna need so we can go ahead and get started. We're gonna start with our beef. This is some stew meat. It comes already pre-cut. Well, I usually buy a pre-cut. If you can't find yours pre-cut, you can buy a beef roast. Cut it into little chunks or little cube, whatever you want, and you will be good to go. You're gonna need obviously some salt and pepper, oregano, garlic powder, and cumin, some tomato sauce, green pepper, red pepper, onion, potato, bay leaf, a packet of sazon goya with culantro and achote. You're also going to need a little bit of water, some cilantro, some olives, and some wine. Normally you will use a cooking wine. I personally don't like cooking wines. I don't like the flavor, so I use just regular white wine. I find that it provides much better flavor. This is some Chardonnay. You can use some Pinot Grigio, like a drier wine would also work. Make sure that you like the taste, because obviously you're going to taste it slightly in the end result, so you need to actually like the wine that you're cooking with. So that is pretty much it. Yes, it is. So let's get right into it. You're also going to need, I forgot, some garlic cloves and a little bit of extra, well, not extra, just regular olive oil. Here I have my Dutch oven. You can use any kind of medium pot you have. I'm going to turn it on to medium high. I'm going to add about two tablespoons of oil. Now we're going to sear our meat. This is really kind of like an important step in my opinion. My mom never really did it this way, but I find that obviously it builds more flavor and it just provides a much tastier end result. So I do like to take the extra step, the extra, 3 minutes to sear the meat. Like I said, I think it makes a difference. So once my oil gets pretty hot, like almost smoking hot, I'm going to add the meat and I'm going to sear it. Meanwhile, I'm going to start chopping all of my onions and peppers. I'm going to mince my garlic. I'm going to cut my potato. I'm going to put it in some water just so it doesn't oxidize, and we can move on. My oil looks pretty hot, so I'm going to go ahead and add the meat. Yep, you want it to be sizzling so the meat sears properly. So you just want to put it even layer, and you're gonna let it cook until brown on all sides. The meat is looking great. So you see it has beautiful color on all sides, and this is exactly what you want. And you see all of these bits and kind of like somewhat not burnt pieces, but browning all over the pan. That's going to provide the most beautiful flavor. So now I'm going to remove the meat from the pan and I'm going to add it to a plate, same plate I had. This is going to continue cooking, so it doesn't really matter. Now we're going to add all of our chopped veggies. Okay. We're gonna give it a good stir, and this is on medium heat now because you don't want to burn your onions or your peppers. I'm going to season it with a tiny bit of salt, and I did forget to mention I did season my meat with a little bit of salt and pepper as it was cooking. My onions and peppers are almost done, so now I'm just going to finish mincing my garlic. I like it pretty finely minced. By the way, I just got a new knife. Well, I got sent this knife and I am completely in love. It just cuts like butter. It's from this brand Vosteed and it's so good. So if you're in search of a good knife at a great price, I'm going to link this down below so you can check it out. It truly is amazing. I've been using it for about 2 weeks now and I am in love. The sofrito is looking great. The onion and the peppers are nice and tender. So now it's time to add the garlic. You want to you want to add it right at the end so it doesn't burn, because garlic burns very, very quickly. So to the pot, I'm going to add my spices. I always say this, you're probably tired of me saying this, but you want to wake them up, so you want to add them to the oil. It just makes them more fragrant and delicious. So I'm going to add my sazon in as well. Okay, kind of like that. My sofrito is looking great, so now I'm going to add the wine. I'm gonna give it a good stir, and I'm gonna let the wine cook for about 5 minutes just till the alcohol cooks out. The wine has been cooking for a few minutes, so now it's time to add the meat back to the pot, juices and all. Remember, that is pure flavor. We're gonna mix that in, just like so. Let's add in our tomato sauce. I'm going to clean the can with a little bit of water because there's still some tomato in there. So we're gonna clean it, swoosh it around, add the water. We're gonna add the rest of the water to our pot. Remember, all the ingredients and the measurements for the recipes on my website, anitasdelightsrecipes.com. There's always a link in the description box. So if you find that the amount of water it calls for, it's not enough because your meat is not tender and it's getting too dry, you can add a little more water. Just make sure you add hot water so the stew continues to cook evenly. So I'm going to add in my bay leaf. I'm going to add my cilantro. I usually like to add culantro better, but I don't have any at the moment, so cilantro will do. And now I'm going to cover this and I'm gonna let it cook for about 30 minutes just until the meat is tender. Well, it's not too tender because obviously we still have to add our potato, but I don't like to add it now because I find that since the meat usually needs a little more time than the potato, then the potatoes get too mushy and it's not very good. So you also want to stir it once in a while so nothing sticks to the bottom of the pan. I'm gonna cover it, just partially cover. I'm not gonna cover it completely. You wanna bring the heat down to medium low. You don't want it too high because again, it needs a little more time to cook, and then we can move on to the next step. My carne con papa looks great. I just checked on it. It looks so yummy. I'm gonna give you a close-up right now. It's exactly how I wanted. The meat is tender. I cooked the meat actually took about 30 minutes for it to get right where I wanted it. I added the potatoes and then I cooked it for another, I would say like 20 minutes. So it's like a total, you're gonna need like almost an hour. Depends, sometimes the meat, it takes a little bit longer than other times to obviously to tenderize. So I'm going to add some olives. I'm trying to get them out. Maybe this is not the best way to take them out. Don't worry, my hands are clean. I'm the only one that's going to be enjoying this jar of olives. I know some people are a little squeamish about that. And then I'm going to add just a drizzle of that this briny juice, or whatever you want to call it, that the olives have. We're gonna mix that in. I did taste it and it needs a little bit more salt. Remember, I did season the meat lightly, and also the peppers and the onions when they were cooking. But make sure that when you're seasoning your layers, you season very lightly, otherwise you're gonna end up with a dish that's way too salty. So look at the meat. This is exactly how you want it to look like. It's nice and juicy, has a good amount of broth. The meat is super tender. Potatoes are tender. This is the final result you're looking for. We are ready to serve. I have some white rice here. This is how it's normally served. So you get your white rice and then you add your potatoes with all of that beautiful salsita, some of that sauce. we're gonna garnish it with a little bit of cilantro. Just roughly break it with your hands, kind of like this. Yum, 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 yum. And this is what it looks like. Carne con papa. So yummy, so scrumptious. So normally you would just like mix it all, but I do want to take a picture of my plate, so I'm not gonna do that today, but so good. I think I'm gonna make some tostones to go along with it. Why is this so good? Such a favorite. I'm telling you. The meat is so tender. Potatoes are great. So flavorful. So good. Beautiful dish. Full of gorgeous flavors. I hope you guys enjoy. Very simple. Recipe on my website, anitasdelightsrecipes.com. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.